Oh, perfect. So, welcome everyone to the May 29th session of Being a Woman online breast cancer support group sponsored by UF Health. Tonight we have a very special guest, and I am super, super, super extremely excited about Miss Tamara. So she is the Director of Social Services with UF Health Proton Therapy Institute. She is, as the Director of Social Services, she is responsible for assisting patients and their families with the psychological, social, and financial aspects related to their diagnosis and treatment. And we are so fortunate to have her tonight because she's going to speak to us on caregiver fatigue and everything that's evolved with that. So without further ado, because I want to give you all as much time as possible, I'm going to turn it over.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that introduction. Again, I am Tamara Sori. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and director of social services at UF Health Proton Therapy Institute, where we actually treat women who are diagnosed with breast cancer. Of course, we do treat other cancer sites, but just for the sake of this group, we definitely do treat women there who are diagnosed with breast cancer. So, what I'm going to do is, again, provide a PowerPoint presentation on caregiver fatigue, caregiver burnout, and you'll probably hear me use fatigue, burnout kind of interchangeably. There are a lot of similarities with caregiver burnout and caregiver fatigue. To basically sum it up, you're just sometimes you're extremely tired when it comes to caregiving. So let me make an attempt to share my screen. And I hope this works. I'm not as tech savvy as I used to be, but let me see
Oh,
here.
perfect. You did it right.
Oh, yay. Okay. So I'll play from start. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. So I just thought I'd put this fancy title together that says Caring for the Caregiver, Battling Burnout with Balance. And the reason that that word balance is on the end is because as caregivers, it's so important that we do find balance and that we do find ways to take care of ourselves. So I'm curious. Before I share, I want to hear from you all. And you can share your answers either now or after my presentation. It's completely up to you. But I just have a couple of questions for you all. So I really want to understand more about like your experience and what have you experienced as a caregiver. So I just compiled a couple of a few questions, about one, two, five questions. You don't have to answer all five. If there's one that kind of stands out to you and you feel like you have an answer, I would love to hear what your experience has been. So what does a typical day look like for you as a caregiver? Have you ever felt guilty for needing a break or time for yourself? What are the biggest obstacles to taking care of your own needs while caregiving? What helps you recharge, even just for a few minutes? And what's one small thing that made or makes a big difference in your well being? So if you don't have an answer right now or you want to share, feel free to do so with any of those questions.
I can share. For me, as a part-time caregiver, because of the distance that I have to travel, um, I'm with my parents, and then, I have an hour drive home. So by the time I walk in the door, I'm exhausted. And I feel guilty because not only do I not have time for myself, my husband's love language is quality time. I don't have time for him because I just want to lay down and go to sleep.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, so you're basically exhausted, like you don't have anything else to kind of give. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Okay. So for myself, I'll just kind of share what a typical day looks like for me as a caregiver. I always like to say that my full-time job is it operates in the role as a caregiver. So my in my career, I am a caregiver. And most recently, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I became my mom's social worker, my mom's advocate, my mom's navigator, her coordinator. So while I'm caregiving for oncology patients in my job, I leave work early to accompany her to appointments, educating her on what certain terms mean when the doctor kind of explains her diagnosis, transporting her back home, and then I'm going back to work and then operating in the role of a caregiver in just my professional career. And so by the time I get home and I do a check-in with both my mom and my dad, then I try to take time to care for myself by simply taking a shower, making sure I eat, and getting into bed at least by 10:30, so that I'm getting adequate sleep. So just for myself, that's kind of what my experience has been as a caregiver. So, caregiver burnout. And I like to give these definitions of what caregiver burnout is that's what we're talking about tonight, caregiver burnout, caregiver fatigue. And it just refers to a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. Prolonged meaning it's not short term, but it's right, it has lasted a very long time. Prolonged stress of caregiving. It often develops gradually. So it caregiver burnout, caregiver fatigue happens over time as the demands of caring for a loved one accumulates over time. And caregiving affects family members, and that could be children, partners, so spouses, partners, grandchildren, also other like siblings. So if I ever became ill, I would likely maybe depend on my sister to take care of me, nieces, nephews, cousins. Um, Neighbors can become caregivers. Of course, we know healthcare workers are caregivers. Um, so caregivers can be multiple people in our lives. So, what are some of the causes of caregiver fatigue, caregiver burnout? Again, we mentioned prolonged stress, high demands and responsibilities. So, again, working a full-time job, but also trying to manage your loved one if they're at home or even if they're in a hospital, even if they're in a hospital or a nursing facility, we're still caregiving because we probably have to attend family meetings or make sure that we're in constant communication with the doctor. So even if they're at a facility, we are still acting as a caregiver, as an advocate, and being a voice for that person. Of course, there's a financial pressure of caregiving. Just yesterday, my parents are retired, so they have they're on a fixed income, and my mom has been going to so many appointments, and she's pulling out her debit card and she's paying these co-pays. And so yesterday I asked, like, hey, do you need help? Like, do you need help paying your co-pays? Let me help you. Because we know that based on different types of insurance, you may be required to pay like a copay. So there are the financial pressure. But even if your loved one cannot work anymore and they have bills, you're trying to maintain your household, but also maybe your loved one's household, or just simply maybe buying grocery for them. So, as a caregiver, you could experience just financial pressure, lack of support. Sometimes caregiving, even if there are siblings, other siblings involved, or other family members, sometimes you can find yourself not getting a lot of help caregiving for someone else, and that can be a significant cause of just caregiver fatigue and burnout because you're doing every single thing by yourself. And it causes sleep deprivation. That's another cause because you're always constantly on the go. And so you're not getting enough sleep. And sometimes, depending on the condition of the loved one that we're caring for, they may need round the clock care. So we're up at night taking care of them. There's sometimes role confusion. And basically, what that means is role confusion. You're the family member, but you're operating as maybe the nurse or the doctor, or someone that maybe has to um, give your loved one like a bath or something. So kind of identifying, okay, what is my role as the caregiver? And sometimes just not knowing how to show up can cause that emotional distress. So I want to just share some common signs of caregiver burnout. And that way you know what to look for and ask yourself, are these signs, am I experiencing these things? Is this something that I'm dealing with? So feelings of frustration, that is a definite common sign of caregiver burnout. Irritability, and irritability meaning you're easily irritable. The slightest thing upsets you, the slightest thing irritates you, and you notice that that's not something that would irritate you before. So maybe, for example, like somebody, like if you're at the supermarket and someone maybe unintentionally bumps into you, and you maybe prior to becoming a caregiver, it's not something that would have bothered you, but now you're easily irritated by that, you know. And if that's not a character for you, more than likely that's a common sign of caregiver burnout. Anxious, having some anxiety about, how's my loved one doing? Are they okay? Am I doing enough? What is the doctor going to say this time when we go to their appointment? I see a hand raised, so I'm gonna pause.
Yes, Dr. Tamara, this is me again. This is Pam. Uh,
Mhm,
can you speak on uh, caregiving, the caregiving guilt? You know, dealing with guilt because you find yourself having to depend on others and therefore losing out, losing one's independence. It's, you
as a
know,
patient, as a patient, like, so, um,
as the person,
oftentimes.
I'm sorry, yeah,
Mhm,
as the person, uh,
mhm,
it was it was hard during when I was being treated. It was hard for me to ask
mhm,
for help and I know I needed the help, but it was hard
mhm.
because I was the person who everybody came to.
So
So
basically, it's difficult. So as a patient, as the one that needs the support, it's difficult for me, if I were the patient, to ask for help. Is that kind of what you're saying? Kind of speak to
yeah,
that?
yes,
Okay. Yeah, so oftentimes if the person that needs caregiving, right? Like most of us have always been independent. We've always been able to take care of ourselves. We have not necessarily needed support. And now, if there's this diagnosis that we have and we need that extra help, it can be difficult for us to be vulnerable enough to ask for help. And is that kind of what I hear you saying often occurs?
Yes, that, because I've been I've been doing this a long time, and
Mhm,
we've helped so many women, and
mhm,
that's one of the things that they need the help, but they want to shield their families from it. I call it the pretend syndrome. We know how to pretend very well that we're okay.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
we're okay. I did that a long time. Oh, I'm okay. I'm all right. And I,
yeah,
and then and then I crashed.
mhm,
When I crashed, the crash and burn, and I'm telling you, it's a lot. Then
mhm,
you're bringing more issues. We're compounding more illnesses, stress, and it's just a lot to handle. It really is, all because we feel guilty. It's like a guilt. I don't want anybody to help me. I'm the one that's always helped everybody else, you know,
mhm.
and to give up that independence. That's what it is. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear what you're saying. So yeah, it is difficult for someone who's always the helper to ask for help. It is difficult for us to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. There's a sense of pride that presents itself because what the perception is, and it's a perception, it's not one's truth. The perception is if I ask for help, then it means I'm weak or
mm,
I cannot handle this, or I have to continue to show my family, like you stated, that I am okay, or if I pretend that I'm okay and I don't ask for help, then nobody will worry about me. So a part of it is sometimes as the one that needs to help, we're still help. We think that we're helping by not speaking up, and it's a form of wanting to protect our loved ones, right? But what I always encourage patients to do is to remember that if you have family or friends that want to help you, it's so important that you allow them to, because first and foremost, it's definitely not a sign of weakness. It's really a sign of strength. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we're prioritizing our needs and we're showing up for ourselves by saying, "Hey, I need help." It in reminding ourselves it is okay for others to help me. I have always shown up for others, so it is okay. In the same way, so really what helps is asking yourself, when I showed up for others and I wanted to show up for others, what did that feel like? Was that internally gratifying for me? How did it make me feel? And if I have these individuals that want to show up for me now, how would it make them feel if I allowed them to? So first and foremost, allowing yourself to embrace the discomfort of vulnerability. So allowing oneself to be vulnerable, reminding yourself that asking for and receiving help is a sign of strength, it's not a sign of weakness. And then third, reminding yourself that when I was a caregiver or when I helped someone, what did that feel like for me? When I wanted to show up and when I wanted to help, what did that feel like to me? Let me allow this person to help out as well. And it does take some stress off of you as a patient. Sometimes allowing someone to care for you could simply be that person can be a listening ear for you or completing a task for you while you're at your doctor's appointment, picking up your child for you. So really allowing someone to help you is definitely a sign of strength. definitely not a sign. It's not weakness. And the part with the guilt, guilt is a feeling that comes when, like, true guilt is a feeling that arises when you have done something wrong and there's some remorse there. Being diagnosed with a medical condition, especially a diagnosis of breast cancer, is not something that anybody did wrong. It happened. And so you're not doing anything wrong at all. And if you have someone that wants to help you, you're self-prioritizing. And when you self-prioritize, it improves your overall quality of life. And by improving your overall quality of life, it could really have a positive impact on your health for sure.
You know, it was what you just said, uh, and I saw this. I was watching this program today, briefly. I and there was a line in there. So one of the actors said this, and I thought that this was. I wrote it down, and it says, "Silence delays the damage." And it's so
Mm,
silence delays the damage, and I thought about that when, as you were sharing, silence delays the damage, because when we don't share what we need, we are compounding stuff on us, and that we are not able to handle at the moment. you know
mhm.
See, all I know is that I wanted to do all the stuff, everything that I did before, but I couldn't. But you couldn't tell me that, I tried to do all of those things until I exploded, because I
Yeah,
could. And that's what,
yeah.
and a lot of the women that we have, that I have, been in the presence of and helped and listened to their story, it was all just about at least 90% of them felt like that, you know.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to just share that with you all.
Oh, no problem. Is there anyone here on the platform that has a difficult time with receiving help from others? I mean, I do, because I'm always caring for other people, and it is hard to receive like help from others. It is hard, and it's something that you have to push through. But what I always like to remind patients is that if someone wants to help you, it really means that they value you. They value your health, they value your life. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to take a load off of you. They're trying to remove a stressor from you so that you can focus on getting better for yourself. And that's just maybe another perspective to have. If someone is offering to help me, it's likely because they value me and they want to be there for me. Sometimes caregiving is an obligation. I say though, this is still even though it's an obligation for some people, they may feel that way. It's still a choice though. It's still a choice, and they're choosing you. They're choosing to embrace the obligation of showing up for you and taking care of you while you work through and you work towards your healing journey.
Could I say something?
Yes,
Like,
ma'am.
and like Pam, I've mentored a lot of survivors, and sometimes they're angry because they're not getting the help they need, or they've already plotted out all their loved ones' lives and have decided, well, she can't do this because she has that, and he can't. And my thing is, a closed mouth doesn't get fed, right? You need help,
Mhm.
ask for it. People are there for you. And so, I've taken my own advice, through my challenges. And I don't hesitate to ask for help, because I believe in keeping it real. And I went through the Pam thing where, yeah, I was gonna, I thought it was a sprint, and then I realized it was a marathon, you know? And so, yeah, realized I needed the people around me. And like you said, they show up with so much love and caring, and that's an added benefit. But to sit there in silence and be overwhelmed, and again, people just get in their heads and decide why it can't happen instead of just asking. That's
Mhm.
my two
Yeah.
cents.
No, I totally agree with you. So what I heard you say, and of course I'm kind of paraphrasing here, is that we should not assume that people don't have time for us.
Yes.
Because yeah, a lot of times somebody may have time, somebody may want to make time to show up and be present. And even if you have multiple individuals in your lives, one can maybe go with you to the doctor's office. The other one may want to come over and maybe wash your dishes for you or vacuum your floor while you just relax and
Right.
really just embracing like what that feels like,
Mm-hmm.
so not assuming that someone is too busy to help us, and not speaking up. And another thing that I always love to emphasize is that you have a voice, so use it.
Mm-hmm.
Verbalize what it is that you need, because I think like you just shared, I think that was Miss Kim that shared that. Um, closed mouths don't get fed. Um, there's no need to suffer. It's unhealthy to suffer in silence, and it really is okay to speak on what you need. And even if you speak on what you need to someone and they can't help you, it doesn't mean that they won't seek out the support for you or offer an alternative to what maybe
And
you're.
sometimes it doesn't have to be a need. It can be a want. A friend of mine had I think it was mesothelioma, and he
Oh.
was on some serious clinical trials, and his
Mhm.
family came from a large family. His siblings were doing everything, doctor's appointments, prescriptions, da 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 da. But he was a stickler about his yard, and no one had cut his yard, and he was very angry. And he kept telling me,
Mhm.
Kim, they know I like my yard cut every 2 weeks. And I said, well, have you said anything to anybody? And he was like, no. And I said, well, why don't you ask
Mhm.
somebody to cut your yard? I shouldn't have to ask them. Da, 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 da. And finally, I convinced him to ask his brother. His brother cut it the same day and kept cutting it every
Oh,
2 weeks.
'cause now he knew.
I'm like, because you got to remember, your brother has a life. He's being there for
Mhm.
you, and you don't know what his plate is full of, but
Mhm.
the worst he could do is say no. And
Mhm.
he
Mhm.
said he never looked at it like that, and da 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 da. And, so he got his grass cut and he was happy. All he had to do was ask.
Mhm. Wow. And then consistency came with that. Like it sounds, you said that the brother continued to cut
Hmm.
it every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Little
Mhm.
things.
Mhm. It's little things, but it's significant because it matters. So
Yes.
something
Yes.
it matters. So
Yes.
identifying and knowing what things are valued. Yeah, like what do you value? One of the things that my mom values is getting her hair done every 2 weeks. And I was sharing with her, like, hey, you're gonna still get your hair done every 2 weeks because I know this is something that makes you feel good. So even with that, if as a patient or the one that needs the support, it is very important to speak on, like you said, not just needs, but just those wants as well. Yeah. Because those things make us feel good. When those needs and wants are met, they make us feel good. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? I definitely truly appreciate the dialogue. Is anyone on here a caregiver besides Miss Terry? I know that you ladies are breast cancer survivors, but I also know that sometimes when we're dealing with our own medical conditions, we are caregiving for others.
That would be me. So my mom is
Okay.
93, and
Okay.
she's in great shape. When people ask me how she's doing, I always say better than me. And so I had been her caregiver. She can do everything pretty much but cook, and she needs help with her meds, little things, but she's still, you know, basically self-sufficient. So, um, going in and out of the hospital, like I shared earlier, I kept coming home thinking that I could pick back up and, hook up the meals and things like that. And this last time, my sister and I think a lot alike. So I said to her, I was thinking, and she said, why don't you let me bring mommy with me? And you take as long as you need to heal. Because what was happening, I was never gaining all my strength back. I kept exhausting myself, before I could get better. So that's working. I got out of the hospital again last Tuesday, and it's a lot different with me just being here and only having to fend for myself. And but that was that. I'm the oldest, and you know, um, um, thinking that I could do it. It wasn't much in my head, but really it was. It was more than enough. It was more than a notion. So that's where I am with my caregiving.
Hi.
So
Oh,
you're caregiving. I'm sorry. Was
no,
someone
go ahead,
speaking?
Miss Tamara.
No, no, go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm a caregiver as well for my 84-year-old sister who is in the
Okay.
early stages of dementia. And so I echo a lot of what Miss Hunter Hurd said. Uh, Sharing that responsibilities with others is hard, and I think like her, because I was just telling Pam recently that I've been in and out of the hospital, not really giving myself enough time to heal. Because it's not a shared response. Well, that's my oldest sister, and I'm the baby, and we're the only two left. And so, my children try to help out as much as they can, but I try not to overburden them with the care of me, but also caring for my sister who has children that are living their best lives. That's all I'm going to say. um, but yeah, it's definitely a challenge balancing um, a, a career in family life and a new husband and all of those things. So I hear you, Miss Hurd, and uh, continue to find support in groups like this. And thank you. I'm really learning from some of the stuff. So I'm just sitting back, learning from some of the stuff I'm hearing today, taking it all in. Thank
And you
you.
as well, Miss Hamilton. And by the way, my mother has the onset of dementia too.
It's right.
So I hear you, and I
Yeah.
keep you guys in my prayers.
Thank you both for sharing. Thank you both for being vulnerable enough to be open and to share that. Um, Miss is it Kim? I can't see everybody's name when you're
Yes.
speaking. Okay. All right. Did I hear you say that you actually do not have support? Like you're basically just taking care of yourself?
No, I have support. My
Oh,
daughter, my
okay.
sister, my two granddaughters. Yes, I have
Awesome.
support.
Okay.
And I have
Okay. Okay.
a caregiver.
Oh,
A
okay.
nurse that
Okay.
comes
Okay.
every day. I have a nurse that comes
Okay.
every day.
Okay. Oh, okay. Perfect. And what's the name of the other young lady that just shared?
Miss Hamilton.
Lisa.
Lisa?
Lisa.
Okay. Okay. Miss Lisa, did I hear you say that that you're a caregiver to your mom that
To my
has like a
sister, my older sister.
okay, that has new onset of dementia, but
hmm
you also are recently married,
Yes,
you
I'm a
said?
cancer survivor. I had a major surgery, bladder cancer surgery, a few months ago. Had to have a whole reconstruction of everything. And since then, I've been having bouts of other illnesses, kidney issues because of the chemotherapy. And so, in and out of the hospital a little too much regularly, but I'm kind of a workaholic. Don't say nothing, Pam. I see your face.
That's
Uh,
right. That's right. I done
uh,
told you.
I don't give myself enough time, and I realized that this time because, like I say, when you're back and forth in the hospital for 3 days to a week, like every month, then you realize you really have a problem. And that's what's happened to me the last 3 months. And so I'm realizing that I just need really to take the time. And again, I have some guilt. I have to be honest. It's never my intent to, I feel that, sometimes with my illness, I infringe on my children's lives because I can't drive anymore, so they have to take me where I need to go. I have to schedule appointments around family members' schedule in order to get dropped off and picked up when I was doing chemo. And I took care of my mother and father in their last days. And I can tell you that I was physically and mentally exhausted. It was done out of love. But when I finally settled, uh, I didn't realize because I was just going like the Energizer Bunny, caring for them. But when they finally passed it, like Pam, it just hit me all of a sudden, and I crashed and found myself for the first time because I'm old school. I'm one of these older young ladies. uh, I found myself seeking therapy because it's not something that we were known to do in my time. It happened in the house, it stays in the house. Whatever's going on is your business, ain't nobody else's. And so we absorb a lot of that. But I found myself um, over the last couple of months dealing with some guilt because now my kids have really had to step. They were already always there now, even helping to send their children to help with my sister so that I have to, I had time to heal, but I feel myself feeling a little guilty from having to infringe on their lives more than I've ever had to do before. So, but I said, okay, I'm going to take the time I need to heal so I can depend on them less. And I think that's the strategy that I use to kind of balance a little bit. I'm learning it. I'm not totally balanced yet. That'd be a lie. But it's a learning process, right? And then I got
Yeah.
Pam calling me, fussing me out. So uh, we're good. I got a lot of support around me. I'm sorry.
So
Go ahead with your
accountability.
presentation. Let me be quiet.
No, 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 you're fine. Just some of the things you were saying, I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds like those are just common signs of caregiver burnout. But I love what I heard you say is that Miss Pamela kind of gets onto you, and what I heard is that how I kind of translate that is that you have someone holding you accountable, making sure that you are taking time for self as a caregiver. And it's not uncommon for me to hear patients that mention they don't want to burden their children if they don't have to. I've heard that so many times. And one of the questions that I'm often asked, that I often ask is, you know, did your child say something? Um, are they acting differently, you know, towards you? Or are you just kind of assuming that you're a burden? And
Yeah,
I
my
really ask,
kids are pretty cool, even tone. I say they're annoying, and I only call them annoying because they're always like, "Go sit down, go," So they get to be the boss, and they're enjoying it just a little too much for me.
oh yeah, okay, yeah. So it almost sounds like for your situation, it's a privilege for your children to take care of you. It's a privilege for them to take care of you.
My daughter calls it gentle daughtering.
Oh, I like how she remixed it because it's
Oh my
just
God.
I
She says
like
that I
that.
don't always cooperate. Ah, oh
Me,
boy.
me
yeah,
either, Kim. Me either.
Yeah.
well, yeah, because like I'm kind of at in my life now, like I'm becoming like the caregiver for my parents, even though they're pretty much still independent. But with my mom's recent diagnosis, um, I joke with my friends and I tell them that it's hard raising my parents because they don't because they don't listen.
Can I ask a
But
question? Oh,
yes, absolutely, yes, ma'am.
okay. So, as a part-time caregiver, and the only reason I use part-time is because I'm not with my parents 24/7 or 7 days a week.
Mhm,
So, about 2 years ago, my mother had a really bad accident. Car was totaled. My father has health issues. My mother was in Macon caregiving for my uncle. This past week, I went down to pick her up. We get back to my parents' house for me to drop her off. I was in trouble by my dad. He has some medical issues, which I don't want him driving. So, how do you maneuver a parent who doesn't think that you need to be there to help them? And I know otherwise based on what I've seen and conversations with my mom.
mhm, mhm. That is a great question, and that's really a tough one to navigate. I think it's a process and it takes time. I don't think it's a like a one-off thing, like one-off conversation. Um, if there is a concern, what the approach that I would take personally and professionally, the approach that I would take is maybe documenting what you notice, and just share. You don't not necessarily saying, look, like I wrote these things down and this is what I noticed, because then that can, right, create some offense.
Mhm.
But maybe just kind of saying, hey, I noticed on Thursday you did X, Y, and Z. You know, I'm really concerned about that. Because I noticed that you did it, that it happened 2 weeks ago. And what you really want to do is use I statements. So instead of saying you did this or you did that, hey dad, I noticed that this occurred a couple of days ago, when we were together, or when I pulled up to the house, or when I was hanging out here at the house with you. I'm really concerned. What are your thoughts on that? And getting their input on it, even if it's not what you want to hear, but
Mhm.
continuing the conversation. Because I don't know what generation like your parents are, but there is a generation that of older adults that are extremely prideful. It is difficult for them to admit that they need help. It's difficult to give up their independence. A part of giving up their independence means that it could impact their quality of life. It likely makes them feel less purposeful. And so Honestly, I kind of like what one of the young ladies said a couple of minutes ago, like gentle daughtering, but seriously taking a gentle approach. And if by chance he still doesn't want to listen, it could warrant a primary care visit. Sometimes uh older adults may listen to their doctors. So the same thing you said, the doctor can say it, but it's received differently because they're the professional. It may
Mhm.
still be difficult, but they may be more cooperative in making those changes, but also acknowledging how they may be feeling around aging because aging is difficult for them. So taking a gentle approach could be helpful.
Okay, thank you. I need to do that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. No problem.
You were asking a couple minutes ago about someone being their own caretaker. I am my own caretaker and have been my own caretaker, and also have young kids and also my grandkids. So it's definitely an overwhelming process, and this will sound so tacky, so awful, but sometimes, when I hear people talking about the support they have, as grateful as I am that they have support, like I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Um, not now, but it's never ending. I have it's myself and my kids.
So
So,
you're a single mom?
mm-hmm. Yes.
And are you a breast cancer survivor also?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So
Through treatment, through chemo, through radiation, I was driving myself and taking care of myself and taking care of kids, and um I definitely have to, this is new, like talking and reaching out and feeling like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? And look at me, I'm like the only one that doesn't have people around to help. It's just like a all over strange feeling. And then to realize there are incredible angels walking this earth like Pam that, just want to help. Um, it's so much for, my heart to
yeah,
take and
yeah,
appreciate.
yeah.
And
Thank you for
while it's the same that it's like so much work, it's also my purpose.
mm,
So
mhm. How many how many children do you have like how many children do you care for? You mentioned you have your
4.
own kids.
Yep.
Okay.
My 2
Okay.
youngest are 14 and 11, and my grandson is 6. And my granddaughter will be 3 in September. And that's kind of evolving into, having her more and more as well. So but again, it's my why. It just takes a
Yeah.
lot.
You have family now, Laura. You're not alone. We are here to support you, not only in this meeting, but outside of this meeting. Pam knows how to reach us. One of the things, or one of my professional roles, is helping people to find resources. And
Mhm.
so, anytime you need me, just reach out. And I'm a licensed clinical social worker too, but that's a whole nother story.
Okay.
But definitely don't hesitate. We're family now.
Oh,
We've
thanks,
all walked
Lisa.
this
Thank
journey
you.
at different
Oop.
levels and different time, but at the end of the day, I don't attend meetings to attend meetings. Like you, I look for purpose. And so your purpose in being in this meeting today is to connect with your support family. We are
Thank you.
here. And I just wanted
Thank
to
you.
let you know that. And Pam, feel free to share my information. Anything we can do. I don't know where you are in the state. I'm in the Northwest, but I travel a lot. So I will
I'm in Palm
come.
Bay, which
Okay,
is
I
like
come
near
down all the
Melbourne.
time heading to
Oh,
Miami.
oh,
Uh,
okay.
okay, all
Well, I
right,
would love to meet you. Thank you.
great, thank
I
you.
feel that. Thank you.
Well, Laura, one of the things is we Lisa, I'm not gonna have Lisa already overload, you know. So I'm trying to stop her so she can take care of herself. But one of the things is I did ask her, uh, we wanted to provide you because provide you with like a community health worker, a CHW. I was hoping that you would be on tonight, and you are, because I do know you need the help, and I do help you as much as I can, you know, and I do, and I think about you, you know, and see to make sure that, and I know you got the kids and everything, but there's resources, and I know maybe you can't contact all the resources because you've got your hands full, you know, so you need help. So there are organizations that can provide you the help, that can provide you the resources, that can give you, that can, you know, they do an intake and see what you need, you know, and they will help you. But you gotta let them help. You gotta let them help. It took you a while to let me in, you know. So, but you gotta let them help you so you can get back on this road to recovery, you know. You know, it was so nice when I saw you smiling when you opened up, girl. It was so nice to see that smile on your face, just like you got it now. So, like Lisa said, we're here. That's why we have this. This is why we are here. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
don't feel alone.
I was
Don't feel
so
alone.
looking forward to tonight. I had it on my calendar and I set an alarm on my phone. And I think I registered for it twice. I'm so
Yes, you
sorry, but I was
did.
like, "Oh gosh, did I forgot I registered and wanted to make sure I was able to get on." So I'm sorry for being a goofball.
No,
Oh,
you're not.
never.
Okay.
I had to sneak out and I have the tendency to work from like I go to work like 6 o'clock in the morning where I leave for work and then I usually don't get home to 7 or 8 o'clock. So I had to sneak this meeting in. That's why I was a few minutes late. I sent him on a honey-do list run. And I know with traffic, it was going to give him a little bit of time to be out the house so I can come to this meeting. But I was a few minutes late because
But
I'm hiding out.
Lisa, I'll get with you. Lisa, I'll get with you so
Yes,
we can get her to see get a
yes.
CHW to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, someone to help her navigate through that maze of resources
Yes.
and,
We'll bring it to your front door. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. Or wherever you want to meet in the park, wherever you want to meet. Okay.
we're sorry, Miss Tamara. Go ahead.
It's fine. No,
I'm so bad,
I,
Miss Tara. I'm sorry.
I I don't want anyone to apologize. It's completely fine. What I was going to also share is Laura and any other ladies in the group. There is a website, findhelp.org. I don't know if you're familiar with it. So like maybe just if you're just kind of on your phone one night and you want to just check it out. It's a database that provides information on resources, and I don't know if this is a Florida-based website or national. I
It's
definitely know.
national.
Okay. So you can just kind of put in like kind of what you're seeking help for, and it'll result in local organizations, national organizations that can help. I would say, definitely check it out. Some of the options that they provide will likely be able to help. Some may not, but I like it. I think it's a great resource. And because you're in the Palm Bay area, you're in Florida. So, and I don't want this to scare you when I say this, but it's a great resource too. Believe it or not, the Department of Children and Families are a great resource. I know that's
Mm-hmm.
usually a negative.
Yeah,
Have
I'm
you?
not interested in that route.
No, they have a website. No, they
Mhm.
have a website that provides resources. So you don't necessarily have to call them. I'm not saying that. And that's why I said I want to be careful around how I use recommend
Mhm.
them as a resource. Totally not, yeah. But they have a website that one of their pages is just a list of resources. Yeah. Yeah.
And she's right. 'Cause
Also,
I get my resources from them as well. I get resources from them, and they are and they're vetted, and these folks can really help you. They can really help. They do have some reliable resources.
yeah. Also, like if you I don't know, I know the kids are out for the summer. Sometimes the YMCA may have
Mm-hmm.
some just for the summertime for kids maybe that they can go to. They could offer those, may possibly maybe some free summer camp programs. You mentioned having a 3-year-old. I believe the Early Learning Coalition might also be a great resource for you as well. Just going on their websites just to see what they offer. It's completely up to you to decide if you want to kind of pursue any of the programs or services that they offer. But those are just kind of three things that come to my mind. And then maybe once your children return to school, I don't know if you have utilized their guidance counselors as resources, but they may be a source of support as well. So yeah. But just for yourself, just for the social connection, just for yourself, I would suggest, but I know you have these group of women, these group of beautiful women, I may add, that are has opened up, their hearts to you to help you out. And I think that's really great, as well. But of course I don't because I don't live in a Palm Bay area, I don't know what might be available for like adult women that need support. But one thing that I would suggest is, how often do you have to go to like follow-up visits, maybe with your medical oncologist or your oncology care team?
Um, one thing that I'm learning to do strongly is advocate for myself. And one of the things that I just can't mentally do is go back to my oncologist's office. So I do a telehealth with him. Of course, if he told me I needed to go in, of course I would go in. But and he's tried to get me to go in, but I'm like, I'm not coming in unless you tell me that it's like absolutely necessary. So one of the things that I've kind of spoken up with is, doing telehealth as often as possible. That's just helpful for me because I just don't like going back there. It's a trigger for me. Um, it's just difficult for me to see and to just be there. So I do telehealth as often as possible, which is very helpful. Of course, I have to go to the lab for blood work, but that doesn't take long. My older daughter um, is around, more. I tend to try not to like put too much on her just because of her own path that she's on and walking back from. um but yeah, I don't go in. I don't go in often. So, I do have some time, that I can make arrangements with her to um try and get some personal time in. Um, but just doing the best we can.
The reason, thank you for sharing that. The reason I asked is because some clinics have a survivorship program. Some have oncology social workers that can.
Mine does not. They actually told me to find a larger place if I needed more help.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That was insane to me. I was like, so
Yeah.
you're telling me to go to a larger cancer center because I find it very hard to believe that in the entire county of Brevard, I'm the only one that's asking for extra resources. And so
I'll call you. I'll call you, Laura. I'll call you. I will. I'll give you a call and give me a couple of days. So I'll help you out. Okay.
oh, yeah, and I don't want to imply I'm not falling apart. I'm in a good place and I'm moving forward and I love being here. So I'll shut up now. But I do like just opening myself up and reaching out has been such a blessing. So thank you.
I'm still gonna call you.
Well, oh, you better. That I ain't saying that. I'm not saying not to. Thanks.
Oh my goodness, this has been so impactful. The conversations that we've had has just been, whew, I've had chills throughout this hour. One of the things that I just did, in the follow-up email that you all will get, probably within the hour, I added some those links that Tamara shared on her screen. I looked them up, copy pasted that email, and I even put in the ones with the YMCA. Here in Atlanta, I saw that they had a summer camp for kids of breast cancer patients and survivors. So I did just kind of put those links so you'll get an updated email with all of those links. And on our website, on under the resources category, Miss Pam doesn't even know this, but hopefully by the end of the summer, I'm going to have our new directory updated. So we'll see, she didn't even know. You can see her facial expression. So if you all know of other resources as well, please send them. And I want to make sure that we have it, local and national as well. But you'll get all of those links that Tamara shared in her presentation in that follow-up email. So does anyone have any other questions, concerns, thoughts? And I see that Miss Joan, thank you for joining us.
So sorry, I'm
That's
late. I
okay.
got caught up with something that I was doing outside and I totally forgot. So I did send out a message yesterday in the email, via email, of some of the same thing that she was talking about, the resources.
Mm-hmm.
It is very hard to get resources. I had sent it out in the email that I worked for 23 years on one job. I've been working my whole entire life. So I lost my job in December. They automatically shut us down. It was a non-for-profit organization. And then December 20th was my last day at work. And then I was diagnosed in January. And I feel horrible knowing that I'm not a lazy person. I'm a hardworking person. Now that I'm not able to work, I am trying to reach out for help. And it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It is very hard. I've tried at least 40 resources already. I am on the computer every day, every night. Between the computer and the phone, last night I was on the computer until 12, almost every night, just trying to send out emails, looking up resources, taking numbers down of the ones that I am unable to fill out online. I've filled out several. I run out of ink 3 times. I mean, it's been just crazy. I am sending fax, which is costing me as well because I cannot fax from home. So I have to go to UPS. So it's time consuming. It's more stressful to me trying to find resources than it is being diagnosed.
Do you
Ms.
have a
Jones,
social worker at the clinic where you were diagnosed? Do you have an
Yeah,
oncology social?
I talked to him today. I've been working with the lady there that is in charge of the financial department since March. And it's always something. Yeah, it's always something. Something else is missing, something else is needed. So last Friday, I did fax the rest of the paperwork. I called her to let her know I faxed it off. I haven't heard from her. I called her Monday, Tuesday. I haven't heard from her. I called her today again. I haven't heard from her. So I did reach out to my social worker. So he said he would look into it and let me know. I have to get him rolling all the time. I have to call him all the time and have him working. I did try Susan G. Coleman. They just sent me an email that they deposit $400 in my account.
Good.
And I did reach out to Cancer Care in New York. I think their main office is in New York. They did send me a check as well. So I did,
good.
I'm also waiting for a confirmation for my ride. I start radiation on Monday, and it's like 45 minutes to an hour away from home. So I'm working on that as well. So I'm doing my homework. So I did talk to somebody a couple days ago, and she was supposed to call me back today, but I didn't hear from her. So I'll call her tomorrow. So she's trying to set up some rights for me to go back and forth to radiation. It's not a guarantee every day, so I'm still gonna have to have a backup plan.
Is that with the American Cancer Society Road to Recovery program?
Yeah, yes,
What's
yes.
your what type of insurance do you have? Do you have like a Medicare, Medicaid?
I have Medicare, Florida Blue Medicare,
Oh, okay.
but
I
they
asked about your
don't provide transportation. They don't provide
yeah,
transportation. I did call them. They don't do
okay.
transportation.
Okay. Some Medicare plans do, some don't. So okay. Okay.
So
Joan,
that's one of the hardest thing for me right now, dealing with this, and I'm still struggling with starting radiation. I canceled 2 weeks last week. I canceled because of financial difficulties, and then now with my mind and my, I don't know, I'm just not, I don't feel like I'm ready. I don't know, I need help.
Mhm.
I need I need to know what to do. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm afraid to start radiation.
Ms.
Put it that
Jones,
way.
Ms.
Yes,
Jones,
ma'am. Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
I'm Pamela Burnett. Okay. Why don't I give you a call tomorrow?
Okay.
And this and then we can talk about some things, okay?
Okay.
It's not scary. Radiation is, it's nothing to be scared of. It's quick, and but we can talk about that tomorrow. So
Mm-hmm.
and I can see where you need some other help at, okay?
Okay. Okay. Do you have my number?
Yes, I have your number.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. And then Tamara, there was one other question. I was trying to. I'm gonna try to summarize them. Um, there is someone, and I don't think she is on. She's also a breast cancer patient, I believe. She's recently gotten out of the hospital. She's needing resources. Are you aware of any resources that helps with shopping for their loved ones or for behavioral issues, any types of resources. She's a
Um,
patient and a caregiver of a child and an elderly sister.
so for the elderly sister, every state has a Department of Elder Affairs
Mhm.
that has a program. Here in Florida, it's called Elder Source, but I don't know what state this person is in. But if they would Google Department of Elder Affairs and put their if let's just say they're in Florida, Department of Elder Affairs, Florida, or they're in Georgia, Department of Elder Affairs, Georgia, and the website will come up, and that website will provide information on a local agency in that particular county that provides assistance to elders, but also the disabled. Because when we think elder, we 65 or older, but those elder affairs programs are also available for a person that's of any age that has a disability.
Mhm.
For the child, I would kind of need to know more, like what's their age, if they're having like behavioral problems.
And they're
If
young.
they're
It's a young
okay,
child.
like elementary age.
Yes.
Okay. I always say start
The
with
school. The
out to
school.
the guidance
Mhm.
counselor to get resources. There are community-based mental health programs in practically every city that's available as well. I would just need to honestly know where the person is located to maybe get more specifics. I know we're approaching summertime, like here in Jacksonville, the last week of school is this week. But sometimes that doesn't mean that the administrative staff is no longer working. So I would say if their kid is out of school, they could still reach out to the school board. And I know Duval County School Board, they have an actual mental health department. So the school board itself may have like a mental health department. Also, don't ever neglect the fact that primary care providers, if that child is insured, can facilitate or initiate referrals to mental health and behavioral health providers for further assessment.
Okay. Thank you. You have provided so much valuable information. I was taking down notes galore. And I think everyone else was too. So, Miss Pam, thank you. And Miss Pam, would you like to close us out?
Yes. First of all, let's thank Miss Tamara. Come on, some snaps, some think. Come on, let's thank her for coming on and gracing us. I mean, really, listen. Uh, I'm very happy that you came on, that you spent the time with us, and I know we went over, but we're here to help you. We're here to assist you. That's why we have this platform. So do not despair, because we are here to help. Okay, and we are family. Hey, hey, hey. I got all my sisters with me. All right, okay. I'll give each one of you a call, and listen, you all be blessed, and you all have a good evening. Okay. Thank you, Miss Tamara.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. This was great. Thank you so much.
You're
You're welcome. I'm gonna
welcome.
call you, Kim,
Okay, Pam.
now.
And Miss
Okay.
Joan, be sure to join us next month as well, okay?
Yes. Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Both okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.